Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're listening from in the world. My name is Jacqueline Dixon, and you're tuned in to the Ordinary People Show. Ordinary people can do extraordinary things, and we're broadcasting live from Toronto, Canada, powered by GBKM TV Network. I'm in studio this morning, fantastic, brisk Saturday morning in the T-Dot, but we're so grateful. We're so grateful, and maybe we ought to thank global warming. I'm not quite sure who we should thank for this good weather, but one thing I can assure you is we have no snow, the sun is shining, and we're still able to move around the city regardless of the newly imposed measures, lockdown measures that our premier has shared with us yesterday in regards to COVID-19 requirements and restrictions. Ladies and gentlemen, please play it safe. Let's work together with this issue that we have on our hands. The finish line is near, and I can see that going into 2021, it's going to be a completely different story. So GBKM TV, along with New Era Communications, urges you to help to reduce the spread of COVID-19 by always wearing a mask where social distancing is not allowed. Now, once again, guys, today's Saturday, of course, where I'm live in studio. I'm always excited to talk to my Ordinary People listeners and viewers, and I know that I've got a few of my diehards out there that are so excited about my topic of discussion today for those who follow me on social media. It's a fun one for me. We're not going to be talking politics, we're not going to be talking all that hardcore stuff that I would normally bring forward. I want to talk about some fun things, but then something that can also be extremely lucrative and rewarding for those individuals who want to take this episode and the information contained to the next level. Before I share with you the information about today's topic and my featured guest, let me, of course, start with my pleasantries, as I always do. First of all, we'd like to thank our sponsor for allowing us to be on air today. That sponsor is New Era Communications. New Era Communications is a professional sales training company dedicated to providing sales training to up-and-coming entrepreneurs and sales professionals. Is your sales team struggling with the sales process? Would you like to generate more revenue? Contact neweracommunications.ca. Of course, New Era Communications is also the company that produces and brings to you the yearly speakers symposium called Meet the Motivators, celebrating women in leadership. Look out for MTM 2K21 coming soon. Ladies and gentlemen, before we take our quick commercial break today, because I'm excited to get talking with my two guests, which I have waiting in the wings, let me give you a little bit of insight as to where I'm going to be taking you today. I want you to go grab your coffee, or grab your bottle of water, or better yet, grab a glass of wine. It's after 12 o'clock on the Eastern time zone. And sit back and get comfortable, because I'm going to whisk you away. I'm going to whisk you away to a sunny, beautiful, tropical island known as the Jewel of the Caribbean. That would be none other than Jamaica, West Indies. We're going to be talking about dream homes. We're going to be talking about real estate purchases. We're going to be talking about vacation properties, or we're just going to be talking about a vacation just to take a vacation for the sake of having a vacation. We all need one right about now with the COVID-19 issues that we've been dealing with for 2020. So I want you to sit back, I want you to get comfortable. It's going to be quite educational. I'm excited. I've got two fantastic gentlemen waiting for me right after the break. So I want you to sit back. Don't go anywhere. I will be right back after this quick commercial break.
Hello, my name is Ryan Knight, the co-founder and executive director of the Afro-Caribbean Business Network Foundation. I am here excited to announce the new microloan program that we have put together. With the support of Alterna Savings Credit Union and the partnership of SETC, Empowered Forex, and the Dream Legacy Foundation, we're going to be helping more entrepreneurs of African and Caribbean heritage get access to funding and help with their grant writing. Please visit our website, acbncanada.com, to learn more if you're an entrepreneur that's in need of funding or if you would love to support this organization. Hello, my name is
Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Ordinary People Show. My name is Jacqueline Dixon, and I'm your host here each and every Saturday from 12:30 to 1:30 Eastern Standard Time. Today's topic of discussion, hey, Watagwan. It's all about Jamaica, West Indies, ladies and gentlemen. Let me kind of set the stage for you a little bit so you can understand what we're going to be chatting about today. So for those of you who do know me on a personal level or who follow me on social media, you will know that I just recently came back from Jamaica a few months ago. In which case it was personal and as well as business matters that had to be dealt with there. And every time, I hadn't been to Jamaica in quite some time. It's been a few years since I've been back, but I do travel there every so often because it is my heritage. It's my background. I am a Jamaican Canadian. Although I'm on the Canadian side, I was raised in a Jamaican household with Jamaican parents and the Jamaican culture that I learned to appreciate so very much. While I am on the island, I always like to experience the best of what I call both worlds. I want to visit the cultural homes of my parents, of course, and the what you'd call the district that they come from or the parish. I always wanted that experience, but I also want the experience from the eyes of a tourist. Being that I've not been raised in Jamaica and I've never schooled myself in Jamaica, I also have a different. I look at Jamaica through a different lens. So because I look at Jamaica through a different lens, it's really important for me to be able to experience both sides of the coin. And what does that boil down to? That means that I gotta get away. I make time to get away and I go to an area that I absolutely love, which is called the North Coast. While in the North Coast, the spot that I'm most in love with is called Ocho Rios. And Ocho Rios is a beautiful vacation area on the North Coast, right next to the sea. And it allows me to see Jamaica from a completely different perspective, one that I have fallen in love with. And I ensure that every time I go there, I try to get some sort of an experience that is different from the last. So for those of you who've ever visited Jamaica before, you'll know that, of course, when you go to the North Coast, we're talking places like Ocho Rios or Negril. There are a lot of vacation hotels there that are very, very famous, Sandals being one of them. I've had that experience. Wonderful establishment, not going to knock it in any way, shape, or form. But I've also had the experience of staying in villas, in which case these are private residences where you would rent for the time period that you're there, and they can come equipped with all sorts of amenities. They might come equipped, depending on your choice or your interest. You would maybe equip it with maids or chefs, all of these types of things. And depending on what your interests or needs are for the time period that you're there, you can simply stack the deck to whatever level of enjoyment that you would like to experience. So what I have found is that the experience for me that works best is the villas. I love staying in villas because it allows me to have still control over my day. I can go in and out when I want to, and I can hire, we'll talk about that a little bit. Listen, here's what we're going to be doing here. Let me get my guests on here. So the last trip that I made to Jamaica, I stayed in an absolutely exquisite gated community in Ocho Rios called Enrichment Estates. And I absolutely fell in love with this area. I fell in love with this area for so many reasons, not just the architecture, but the amenities, the location, the proximity to the beach, and all of the other tourist destination or tourist attractions. Everything was absolutely, in my mind, in my view, perfect. I fell so much in love with it. I came back to Canada and thought to myself, you know what? I've got to get a piece of that, and I want to have a piece of it going forward? How can I be able to go back to this community and maybe make it a part of my life on a yearly basis, or whatever way I could? So what I did was I got in touch with the developers, and they were so gracious. I wanted to tell them how well put together this area was. I got in touch with the developers, and they were gracious. They had a great conversation with me, and I told them that I would love to showcase this community on my upcoming show, Ordinary People Can Do Extraordinary Things. And they were very, very good about allowing me to do so. So what I'd like to do now is introduce one of my two guests today, and we're going to talk about vacation homes in Jamaica, particularly Richmond Estates. We're going to talk about how one can acquire vacation homes in Jamaica, and we're going to talk about the financing, if necessary, that can be acquired. We're going to talk about the amenities of Richmond, and we're going to talk about the dream behind the vision of this community. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce to you a gentleman by the name of Steve Bennett, and Steve Bennett is the Managing Director of Richmond Estates. Good morning, Steve. How are you? I think you're muted, Steve. Maybe just take yourself off of mute, please.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes, wonderful. Good morning. How are you?
I'm excited to hear of your wonderful experience at our property, and really delighted that you have decided to share it with all of Canada and the world. And I would be very, very happy to see you get your own piece of the rock.
And I'll be extremely happy as well.
And I'd love to help you to pick out the right spot.
Oh, thank you. Steve, listen, so I was rambling on and on and on there, and I thought I had to just kind of grab myself and say, hey, you've got the two best guys waiting to chat with the listeners and viewers, so stop taking up their time. So Steve, listen, let's lay the foundation for the listeners and the viewers, whether they're watching it live or they're watching this on a rerun. You are the Managing Director of Richmond Estates. Can you tell us a little bit about your position and what it entails, please?
Okay, so primarily, just to give you a backdrop of how we came about, Richmond is the brainchild of a dream from our chairman, Lee Issa. Now, Lee is the principal shareholder, and is also principal shareholder in several other hotel properties. Now, Lee was driving through a housing development and somewhere in Montego Bay, and he called me. He said, Steve, I'm driving through this place, and all I'm looking at is concrete. It's not the nicest environment for a family or, people to grow up in. So he started dreaming. He said, I think we can do better. And so I sat on the phone with Lee for 2 hours while he chiseled out his dream. He wanted to create a place that was not just a concrete structure, but a complete community that had good amenities, good security, all the works. And so I dropped it. But several weeks after, he came back again, 2 more hours of talking about it. And then he said, Steve, I want you to be the guy to put this together for me. I looked at him and I said, anyway, I took on the challenge. And 15 years ago, we put together a team, engineers, architects, planners, and we started planning. And in a detailed way, we went about establishing just what it is that we'd like to do. At the center of our plan was to raise the bar. We wanted to raise the bar on what a modern housing development should look and feel like in Jamaica. And I'm happy to hear you say that based on your visit, we have accomplished that. So that is in essence the background of where we're from and how it came about and what we have done. Now, what our global plan was to put together an entire community we wanted to have. everything you need in that spot. So we'd have the relevant parks, we'd have pools, we'll have everything. And then to the front of the property, we'll have a nice designated commercial space that will have a health center, supermarket, everything you need so that you can just walk out of the gated community and then you are right into the commercial space.
Okay, Steve, we're not going to give that all away because we have videos and we have photos to show the listeners and viewers. So once we actually unveil those, then you can reiterate what you have just said, because I think it'll make a lot more sense once they see a little bit about what we're talking about, and then you can share. But yeah, I want them to be able to get the clear visual of what you are saying. And wow, isn't it amazing how these dreams can come together? You will just, I've had that experience, that kind of euphoria experience where something, just a dream takes me over, and you're looking for that person to share that dream with, and it's got to be the right person. It's got to be the right person, because we can make a mistake of sharing our dreams with the wrong people, and therefore it can't manifest. Whoever you're sharing that dream with should be a person who has a vested interest in your success. And obviously you were the right person that is it Lee? Lee reached out to that day, and look where we are today. Wow, fantastic. So I want to introduce my second guest, who is on the line as well with us. Now, Steve, just to be clear for our listeners and viewers, you're in Jamaica right now, correct?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, fantastic. Ooh, wow, wish we were there. You guys are getting some tropical weather right now, but I'm sure that'll pass. But I'm sure things, regardless, are still pretty nice as far as weather conditions are concerned.
That is correct. Nice and green.
Okay, nice and green, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce my second featured guest today, and he's waiting in the wings, and he's going to be the glue that's going to kind of put this all together for us, for people like myself, for people like you who might be living in North America, particularly Canada, and want to put this all together. This is a gentleman that has the glue to bind everything together for us. And I want to introduce you to him. His name is Emile. Emile Spence, and Emile Spence is an executive with JN, which is Jamaica National Bank. And ladies and gentlemen, if we can just take a moment to say hello, good afternoon, Mr. Emile Spence. How are you?
Hi, Jacqueline. Good afternoon to you and your listeners. I'm fine. Enjoying your splendid weather.
Now, just to be clear, Emile is here with us in Canada. Okay, so Emile is here with us in Canada, and and it is splendid weather, Emile. I'm telling you, because you were here a year ago, right?
Yes.
Okay, so a year ago today we actually had snow.
Right,
So,
that's correct.
so we're doing pretty good. So Emile, I just want to introduce your background to the listeners and viewers just a little bit, so that they can get an appreciation for who you are and what you're here to accomplish. You've served with Jamaica National Building Society in several capacities in 37 years of sterling service. And one of your responsibilities is strengthening the relationship with the bank's customers in Canada. And that's a priority for you, my understanding is. And as a senior executive, you have played a crucial role in the growth of the bank's overseas portfolio, particularly in establishments of JNBS representative offices in the United Kingdom, the United States of America, and Canada, and the expansion of its remittance services, which is JN International Money Transfer. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah. Oh,
I'm sorry, we lost you for a little bit.
I'm back now in Canada, Jacqueline.
Pardon me?
No, I said yes, and I'm back now in Canada. I started here in 1991, establishing the Canadian Representative Office here. And I'm now back as the Chief Representative Officer in Canada.
Fantastic. So why I say that you're the glue that puts this interview or this show together is for this reason. So we're going to now take a visual walk through the community. My producer is going to cue up some images of this fantastic community that I fell in love with. And I know that there are a number of people. It's going to be the video. That's what we're going to cue up in just a second. And I know that my listeners and viewers that are here in Canada, maybe even in the United States, doesn't matter where they're from, they're going to want to know, how does one acquire a property such as this, if possible, if they are not a Jamaican resident actually living in Jamaica. And we're going to need you to walk us through that to see if it's even possible. And you can tell us the steps involved, okay? So Steve and Emile, let's take a look at this wonderful video that is on the Richmond Estates website. Go ahead, please.
Imagine acres of timeless beauty, where the mountains and lands seem to touch the sky, perfectly located on Jamaica's north coast. The natural aesthetics complemented with 24-hour security and amenities for all is now available at Enrichment St. Anne. With the perfect blend of country charm and urban convenience, our modern, eco-friendly residential gated community hosts our exquisitely designed 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom patio homes.
Hello, I'm Lisa, Chairman of Richmond Development. Come home to Richmond and share in the best piece of real estate located along Jamaica's scenic north coast.
Come home to Richmond, the place where you can start a new life story. Visit us online at richmondjamaica.com. We're not just selling a home, we're selling a lifestyle.
Wow. Every time I see that video, I'm just like ready to head out to the airport. I'm just so ready to leave this place. Okay, so Emile, before we get to you now, let's go back to Steve. Steve, so this is, go ahead, Steve.
No, I'm listening to your question. Go ahead.
What a wonderful, it's a great video, beautiful landscape. I mean, there's so many things to talk about this community, but one of the things that hits me immediately upon driving through this long entrance, okay, to this gated area where you've got two, the gated entrance has got actually two sides to it. There's one side for visitors, and then there's one side for residents. So you can't even enter this area without going through a check. And these guys are serious there, okay? You just can't just drive up and think they're going to open up that gate. No. You need to do some talking if you're not a resident there, and they need to know how many people are in that car, and they need to take a good look at them. And I really appreciated that, and that before that gate opens up and you drive into this beautifully landscaped community. So go ahead, Steve. Tell us a little bit more now about the amenities.
Okay. So, when we first conceptualized Richmond, it was to be one huge block of houses of about 1,000 units. And then we were to have some apartments, 122 apartments, and 40 townhouses, 22 bedroom, 24 bedroom. But then we thought, we don't want to cram so many people in one space. So we decided to break the spaces up and create 3 gated communities for our 3-bedroom patio homeowners. And that has worked out splendidly. And the first one we did, we called it the Palms. Mm-hmm. And this was our first crack at it. And we put in a nice pool and clubhouse, a nice park. We call it Tranquility Park. Nice kiddies play area, and different little spots that you can go just to relax when you come home from work, and just when you just want to get out of the house and be in a safe space. And it may be useful for me to, at this time, bring tribute to my landscaper, a gentleman by the name of Alvin Surgeon. Unfortunately, Alvin passed away about 2 years ago. But Alvin was the man who decided where every plant went, what every landscape area should look like. So what he did, he created the first thing in our first block, and we replicated it. And we went over to our second gated community that we call Cool Shade, because it's nice up on the hill and it's cooler there. And we replicated it one more time in our third gated community that we call the Crest. And that's where we're working now. We have also done the apartments, 122 two-bedroom units. And those are all sold. We may have one left. And we're just about now getting ready to do the townhouses, 2 and 4 bedroom townhouses. But with everything we do, it's amenities, parks, recreational areas for families. That's one of the big drivers for our project.
You're absolutely correct, and I want to emphasize as well that this
Yeah, I'll
development,
reach home 2:15.
this development has currently 3 ongoing projects. Am I correct? Or 2 of them are completed, and you're in the 3rd phase. The phase that I was in was called the Crest, and we've got some images of the property to show on the interior as well. But I was in the Crest, and what is one of the beautiful things? Yes, so look at this beautiful image here of one of the properties inside of the Crest, and they were beautiful 3-bedroom homes. The square footage, probably, I don't know, 1,100, 1,200 square feet.
1,468.
Pardon me?
1,468 square feet.
Okay, so about 1,400 square feet.
Yeah.
And they've got 2 bathrooms, beautiful landscaped exterior as well, carport, laundry room, open concept living, dining, and a kitchen. They've got quartz countertops. The home that I was in was even more posh than that one. That they'd really done it up some bit, but it's absolutely stunning. The reason why I'm saying that is because those type of features, you don't. Those type of features are the type of features that are really big here in North America. Quartz countertops, 24 by 24 inch porcelain tile. 2 bathrooms, en suites with double sinks, and huge ceiling fans, and it's just amazing. Laundry rooms, carports, and top of the line appliances and such of that nature. So these were some of the features, and maybe we can show just a few more features of the interior, because I really want them to get an appreciation. This is the extra. So this is the Crest, and this is the porch. We'd consider that the porch or the veranda in this area, and maybe we'll just go. Those are some features in. Okay, so we don't. And the bedroom, of course, and these are some features in the area that we'll talk about in a little bit. But as far as the home itself goes, the Crest, you're saying that that's approximately 1,500 square feet, and that's in the 3rd development. And can you tell us what type of price point we'd be looking at for this property?
So those units we have selling now, we're selling for $260,000 US for this particular unit, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, on an average lot size of 5,000 square feet. And if you're lucky to get a corner unit, which is hard and scarce, that sells for $280,000 US. It comes with a little bit more land space, and a little nice appointed.
Yeah.
But those are hard to come by.
280,000. Okay, good. So now I want to bring Emile into the conversation now. So it looks like we're talking about properties that are ranging anywhere from 260 up to say 280,000, 5,000 square feet in total. And again, we've got more pictures, but not even enough to complement the properties. So we're talking US dollars for these properties. And if an individual in Canada wanted to purchase the property, we would have to convert that to Canadian dollars. Am I correct, Emile?
Well, that depends on how he wants to take out the loan because he can apply for a US loan, he can apply for a Canadian loan, he can apply for a Jamaican loan. It all depends on his source of income and how he's gonna fund it.
I see. Okay, so the first question though is, can a person other than a Jamaican resident purchase a property such as this and mortgage it?
Yes, they can.
I see. Okay. Tell us how one goes about doing that. What's the process?
Well, the first thing is that as an applicant, they would have to apply to JN. We would facilitate. I should explain that here in Canada, the representative office, we are not a deposit-taking institution. We don't give loans here. We don't take deposits here. We don't open accounts here. Everything we do is facilitating transactions in Jamaica. So you come to us, we provide you with the information and assist you, provide that gateway to Jamaica where everything is processed in Jamaica. And we are the liaison with that. So what had happened is that the applicant would first come to find out what are the things he or she they would need to get a pre-approval prior to actually engaging with Steve and Enrichment. They would get from us a pre-approval by providing us with certain information, the ability to service the mortgage, the fact that they have a job, etc., satisfying us with just preliminary documentation we will ask them for. And once submitted, then a review will be done of that information, and then they will be offered, if we are satisfied, this also includes a credit report. If we are satisfied via Jamaica that this person can support a mortgage, then what we'll do is give them what is called a pre-approval, that they qualify to get 1 million Jamaican, 1 million Canadian, 1 million, whatever the currency that they're applying for. And that is where they would now go and negotiate the purchase with Steve for Enrichment, right? Because he would be satisfied that he has a buyer who can fund it because he knows where the mortgage is coming from. So even though the person lives in Canada and works in Canada, they can buy the property in Jamaica through us.
Okay, so that's making things a little more.
And Steve has quite a number of those, I'm sure he can tell you.
Oh,
Okay,
he
yes.
does, eh? Okay, Steve, yeah, elaborate on that for us, please, Steve.
So once Emile's team says, yes, Jackie is good to go, you call me up and I say to you, whatever you agreed with Emile, is he going to do a 95% financing? Is he going to do 90? Or standard things that we ask for 15% deposit. But
Okay, so
sometimes,
slow it down. So what I'm hearing is JN can finance up to 95% of
Right.
the loan.
yes.
And you, as the developer, generally ask for buyers to place a minimum of 15% down.
That is correct. But if Emile calls me or sends me a note to say, I'm going to finance up to 95%, I will say to you, go ahead and make a deposit to me of 5%.
Right.
Then I will generate a sale agreement for you, which you will sign, and you send a copy of that along with some other documents to Emile. Emile will then prepare a letter of undertaking that he sends back to me to say, don't worry about Jackie, Steve. We're going to pay you 95% once you give me a practical completion certificate. And once that's done, we We block the lot for you, we build a lot. Our deal is mainly pre-construction arrangements. So we take the deposit and 8 to 10 months after, we have the lot ready, and then we get the PCC out, and then we send it over to Emile, and then Emile will pay us and release your mortgage, and you come and get your keys and start enjoying life at the Crest.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is this is pre-construction, so the buyer is involved right from the get-go, from the
Yeah.
whole from the building phase of your particular home. So you're
Yeah.
buying the empty lot, and then
Correct.
you will then customize the home that would be built on
No.
that you on that lot to my satisfaction. Am I correct?
No. Let me make that extremely clear. We have, because people have different tastes, and we want to make sure that we have a taste that is acceptable to most. We have standardized our build outs. So like the units are made from a form, which is a precasted system. We have two. We have a left-hand side one and a right-hand side one, which you can get your patio on the left hand or on the right. But this unit structure is the same. Now you can do anything you want to do on the inside, but because we want the community to have
I
the
see.
same standard look and feel,
Right.
we have established what the colors are going to be on the external walls and what the roof color is going to be. You cannot change anything external, but you can do anything you want to do on the
Internally.
inside. Yes.
Okay, so you have a uniformed look, and that's probably why it's just so attractive. There's a uniformed look on the exteriors of the homes, and on the interior, I can choose to put up a wall or take down a wall or change my countertops, or I can reconfigure to a certain extent on the inside. But there are some standard features that these homes come with, and one of them I noticed is quartz countertops and 24 by 24-inch porcelain tiles. The Crest is an open concept. We'll have some more photos in a little bit. But thank you for clarifying that. So, Emile, I need some more information now. So,
Sure.
are there any, buying homes, buying a property in the Caribbean, there's all sorts of various different options. I mean, there's many islands there that you can purchase homes, and some islands have different criteria than others. Does Jamaica have any stringent criteria where non-residents are concerned? Because I know in Canada we have a foreign buyer's tax here, and do you have anything such like that in Jamaica?
I'm not aware of a foreign buyer's tax because all the relevant taxes relating to purchasing a property would be applicable to that individual.
Okay, so they're buying using the same criteria as a Jamaican resident would.
Yeah.
They are. Okay, wonderful. Now let's talk about the debt service ratio.
The only thing, Jackie, I'd like to just add a little thing.
Yes,
there.
please go ahead.
One very important thing to note is that the Canadian residents
Would like to see you on screen.
would need to obtain TRN, because you can't do any transaction with Mr.
Oh, yeah.
Emile or anything legal unless you have your TRN.
And that's standard for everybody.
Yes.
So
So
the
this is some-
overseas applicant would have to get a TR eventually. He or she would start the process using their social security details.
Right.
But once they know sort of get involved in the transaction, they have to get their TRN, which is a tax registration number.
I see.
There's also another requirement, but again, it's for everybody, where you have to indicate whether or not you are a U.S. connected person. So you'd have to complete a form that you are either U.S. or not a U.S. connected person.
Now, what does that mean, U.S. connected person? What does that mean?
It relates to the fact that you are not a U.S. citizen, or if you are a U.S. citizen, a U.S. resident, or somebody who has U.S. connections, then you have to declare if you have investments in Jamaica. You have to declare that.
I see. But for Canadians, it's not that
Well,
way.
they would just say that they are not connected. So they would just sign a form that says they are not connected. They are not a U.S. connected person.
Okay, great. Now, you know what, Emile? I'm really liking this 5% or potentially 15%. That seems very reasonable to me. But what is the criteria for qualifications? I mean, we live in Canada. We have our own cost of living to deal with here in Canada. Do you use the exact same ratios for a vacation home as you would for a principal resident here in Canada, or is it a little bit more flexible?
No, well, we use the debt surfacing ratio should be in the region of about 50%. But however, what we would need is all the information. We will prepare what is called a statement of affairs for you. So you would need to supply all the information here that relates to your expenses, etc. So we can arrive at your ability to service a mortgage. And this is what I mean. When you complete the customer information form and provide us with all the information, then we do an assessment to say, okay, based on your commitments and your obligations, you could only afford a mortgage of X. So what it means is that you may need to find more than the 15% if you want a Richmond house, because you can't get an 80 or a 95% mortgage. Based on what you provide us with, you may be able to underqualify for a 70% or a 50%. So you'd have to find more of your own personal funds towards the purchase.
Is it fair to say that money talks and you know what walks? I mean, because here's why I'm saying that. There are some individuals that have healthy down deposits, but maybe their debt ratio isn't that fantastic, or maybe their overall beacon score for the credit report isn't that great, but they've got a healthy down payment. Do you close a blind eye to that? And the reason is because there are a number of investment properties that foreigners or Jamaican nationals will want to buy for the purpose of even generating income from them, because they cannot be there all year round. So they will use them, like the villa that I was in, I assume, to generate income. Do you take that into consideration, the potential income?
What we look at is purpose for acquisition as well. Because conditions are more favorable and the terms are more favorable, especially related to interest rates, if it is going to be what is called an owner-occupied residence. If it's going to be an investment property, then you will find that the interest rate may be more and the assessment may be a little more, because we're going to be depending on maybe rental income as a source of support for your monthly payment. Therefore, an assessment would have to be made on that. So the risk is greater. So it will affect how we factor that loan.
Okay. All right. Very good. Very good. Now, last thing I want to say before we take a quick commercial break and come back to Steve, I want to look at some of the features and the amenities within the area. There is this rumor, I don't know where it came from, that Jamaicans cannot get mortgages past the age of 60. Now, or Jamaica doesn't give mortgages to individuals over the age of 60. I don't know where that came from, but that's kind of this thing, this rumor that's going around, and therefore it doesn't make it very attractive for Jamaican nationals or individuals living abroad to buy one of these properties if they can't get a mortgage on it in their retirement years. Can you share a little bit? Is that true at all?
There is a upper limit in relation to age 60, because that is the retirement age. But if you can prove that you have the ability to service a mortgage beyond that, and you provide us with that and we are satisfied, it could help in your getting a mortgage. What we encourage persons who are of that age or older, we would not deprive them of getting a mortgage, but we ask that a younger person be also added to it. So that, because, you know, if somebody, to simplify it, you're 60, you're at retirement, then your income is now limited. So you couldn't take out at 60 a 20 or 30-year mortgage.
I see. So you encourage an individual in those in that age group to put a younger person on title
Right.
along with themselves, so that
Right.
the mortgage, the amortization can be
Patient is
improved.
longer
Because you want
and
to
more
improve
comfortable.
the amortization is what is going to determine what your monthly costs are.
Right, that's correct. That's
Yeah,
correct.
very, very important. That's a key
That's
one.
correct.
That's a big one. Okay, good
That's
stuff. Listen,
correct.
we're guys. I love the fact that you're here feeding us with all this information. I've got a couple more questions, of course, for you before the interview wraps up. We're going to take a very short commercial break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about some of the tourist attractions within Ocho Rios and take a closer look at the property once again. Thank you so much for being on the Ordinary People Show today. I'm with Steve Bennett and Emile Spence, and we're talking about Richmond Estates in the beautiful, beautiful parish of Ocho Rios, Jamaica.
Indeed, indeed.
Tupper Consulting is a global education consultancy. We provide pretty intensive short training courses that help people gain leadership, strategic, and technical skills. High in-demand skills such as project management, business analysis, software quality assurance, IT service management, agile, etc.
My name is Angela and I'm a business analyst. A good friend of mine introduced me to Top Run. He had taken the course before and he thought it would be a good idea for me to try it out. At the time, I was looking to change my career and just get a little bit more knowledgeable on how to be a business analyst.
I wanted
Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Ordinary People Show. My name is Jacqueline Dixon. And if you're just tuning in, today's special guests are in the wings waiting to come back on air. But I want to thank you so much for tuning in today to this very, very interesting and special topic that I'm excited to bring for you. And it's called Dream Homes in a Dreamland. And the topic of discussion is buying that dream home. Have you ever thought about owning a dream home or a vacation property? And where in the Caribbean, have you ever thought about what island you would choose? Or what about if you're a Jamaican national? There's over 250,000 Jamaicans here in Ontario, in Toronto, Canada, never mind. Over 250,000. It's the largest group of Caribbeans in Canada. And a lot of them do travel back and forth between Canada and Jamaica for vacation reasons. But some of them would like to also start thinking about settling down in their retirement years. And for most of us, what we've been told in Canada is that Florida is the place to go. Well, you know what? There are other places that have very great climate, warm climates that you can go as well. And I want to introduce you to an area that I so much enjoy every time I visit the island of Jamaica, which is called Ocho Rios. And Ocho Rios, Jamaica is where I fell in love with this fantastic gated community called Richmond Estates, in which case they are developing custom-built homes there, and they have 4 communities in total. They are just completing right now the community that I stayed in, which is called the Crest, and it is right near the sea, and it's near all of these fantastic featured destination spots that really attract me to Ocho Rios every single time. So we're just going to take a quick look at some of the tourist attractions for Ocho Rios for those of you who've never been. In this scene right now, what you're looking at is a picture of Dunn's River Falls. Oh my God. Dunn's River, and maybe you guys can help me on this one. Dunn's River Falls is that go-to place that every single solitary time I'm in Ocho Rios, I have to go there. This was considered at one point one of the 7 wonders of the world. Is it still one of the 7 wonders of the world, Steve or Emile? Can you correct me on that if I'm wrong?
Remains an amazing place. It's like easily the center of St. Anne. It's a place that probably is most talked about and most visited. Am I right, Emile?
Let's get a picture back.
That's correct. It's
Yeah.
possibly the most popular place on the North Coast
Oh my
as a
God.
destination.
And how much do you know about Dunn's River Falls? These are natural. This is natural spring water. Am I correct? That just
Yeah, it's
comes
natural.
up.
It's a natural flow.
It's a natural flow that comes out of the rocks, and it's never ending. It never ceases, and the power that it comes with, the force that it comes out of these rocks with, is amazing. So the idea here, guys, when you're in Ocho Rios and you want to visit Dunn's River Falls, is you got to take the climb. So it's all about the experience of climbing up the falls, and then finding your way down, of course, and that's a workout in itself. But it's an experience you will absolutely never forget. A huge tourist attraction, and I would agree, is probably one of the biggest tourist attractions in the North Coast. Another place that I love to visit is Margaritaville. And for those individuals who are in Canada, North America particularly, you might remember Jimmy Buffett's song, "Wasting My Time Away in Margaritaville." Well, this is what he was talking about. He's talking about Margaritaville, which is, again, located in Ocho Rios, and a fantastic spot for dining and entertainment. Absolutely stunning place to have a great evening with friends and family there as well. I don't know if we've got some more attraction areas there as well. Oh, of course, and what about the shops? Oh my God. The experience of walking into one of the local vendors in the North Coast and seeing all the colors, the vibrant colors of Jamaica just popping out. You just want to buy everything that you see, of course, but you can see for yourself. It's quite the experience, and of course the Bob Marley Museum is there as well. There are a number of other attractions. Maybe Steve, if I missed any, you can tell us. Go ahead.
If I could share with you, I mean, in this general locale of Dunn's River, you have Dolphin Cove, which is another.
Dolphins Cove, yes.
You can go and swim with the dolphins and tell them hello and have fun with them. Then you can go across the road, really close by to Mystic Mountain, and they will zip you across the mountain up into the hills on zip lines and all kind of scary stuff to get the most amazing view of the harbor. Just across from Richmond, there is Chucker Cove, and they do almost everything. They're horseback riding, all kind of interesting things. And you go further up to Exchange, you have rafting. You go up to a place called Blue Hole, they have zip line. There's just so many things that happens in this parish. It is the heart of our tourist attraction. When you come here, I can easily understand why you want to be there.
Yeah, easily. And don't forget the jerk chicken, okay? And the barbecue chicken. And
Yeah, I was going to tell you, you can't leave out the food.
No. I'm telling you. Well, I tell you something. I could spend an hour and a half. Well, there's too many features. There's too many attractions to talk about. But the reason why I zoom in on Ochi, again, it's a personal favorite of mine. It's the location that I feel at home. And it's the location that never, it's just the gift that keeps on giving. There's so much to do. But I want to talk about also the gated community and the fact that you don't even have to really leave the Richmond estates to have a good time. During the period of time that I was there, each development, Steve, if I'm correct, has its own cabana. It has a pool, beautiful pool, and I have a lot of pictures with me at the pool, and a lot of pictures with me. Actually, I went to little duns. But you know, with me standing under the waterfalls and all that, but I didn't want to scare my viewers and listeners by showing them those pictures. But within each community itself, it's almost self-contained, isn't it, Steve? Like
That is correct. I'd like to share one more interesting thing with you. One of the things that we did, Lee and myself, is that, because when we started selling, we discovered that 75% of our business was coming from the diaspora. And we figured if you were going to buy at our place, we needed to have a beach for you to go. So we went ahead and we located a beach. We bought an area where we set up a beach club so that everyone who buys a house in Richmond is entitled to go to this beach. They are permanent members of this beach club. So you just go and have your swim, and it's located 5 minutes away from the property, so it's not far. And it's nicely appointed and nicely set up, and our people who are bought are having such a great time. You struggle to find a spot on a Saturday to go here.
Right, the private beach, absolutely. And then again, with the pool, the cabana, you got the music going, you've got golf, you've got tennis, you've got playgrounds, and they're right in and on the property inside this beautifully gated community. And I love the names of the street. We're talking, I noticed some the names were just so enticing. You'd be on Papaya. There's a street called Papaya, then there's Cassava, and I don't know who came up with that idea, but
that came from my landscaper, Alvin, the one who regretted it last 2 years ago.
Fantastic. So guys, of course, I'd love to keep you on for another hour and a half. We're going to wind down the show now, but I just want to have a final comment from both of you. I'm going to start with Emile. I want you to break it down really simple. What would you encourage any of us Jamaican nationals, whether we're in Canada, whether and what about other, not just Jamaicans, but Toronto's a melting pot, as you know, Emile. We've got a large African community here as well. They're growing very, very rapidly, and they're making big waves here in Toronto. What would you encourage any Canadian resident to look into as far as potentially living on the island of Jamaica in one of these gated communities, particularly Richmond? What would you encourage us to do?
Richmond is a prime example of what you'll be looking for. The comfort, the feeling of security, as well as having everything provided for, and you can relax. And you can multiply that effect into other areas, but Richmond is a good starting point for you. Because in Jamaica, what is happening now is that our own Jamaicans and even Jamaicans in the diaspora are losing out, owning a part of Jamaica to other nationals because they see the prize that Jamaica is. You started out by saying it's the jewel of the Caribbean. And it is the jewel in many, many ways. Our culture, our people, our entertainment, our food, our tourist attractions, all make up this jewel which shines beautifully. And people shouldn't lose sight of that. It is something that you need to get into. It's a good investment opportunity for those who are so minded and not swayed by emotion. If you want to make a good investment, then you have that possibility to do it in Jamaica. Real estate prices are holding and rising, so it's a good investment. Those who got into Richmond 15 years ago are quote-unquote millionaires now by real estate value.
Yes, they are.
So the longer you wait, it's the more it's going to cost you to get into this opportunity. So it is good to get in there. And the whole real estate, as you know, is an appreciating asset. It moves with inflation, so the risks are very minimal, if not zero. And Jamaica is paradise. Be a part of it.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Emile. And you're absolutely correct. That's the one area I didn't touch on. The fact that you can't buy a house. Richmond has been a huge investment opportunity for so many people because the price, the return on investment has been absolutely outstanding. Congratulations to the developers. So, Steve, conclude the interview with us today by leaving us with some advice for those of us who are stuck in the cold here. Give us some advice as to how we can own or what we should think about when we think about potentially relaxing in the islands and coming home, if you even want to say, to the beautiful jewel of the Caribbean.
Well, Jackie, what I'm happy to tell you is that the folks in Canada have seen this vision way ahead of everybody. I tell you that 75% of my business comes from the diaspora. 35% of that 75% comes from Canada.
Wow.
And they are the happiest people in my place. And they're proud homeowners. When we put together this concept, we said, we're not just selling you a house, we're selling you a lifestyle. And we pride ourselves as having raised the bar. We pride ourselves as having created an environment where you can own a piece of this rock and discover that it is a special place. I mean, too often we don't think too much of our country. Emile just did a fantastic job of just highlighting the jewel we are. And I'm happy that we have been able to showcase it, get people to live the experience and to enjoy this lifestyle. We have a townhouse program coming on now, 22 bedroom, 24 bedrooms, and those are going to go the minute I open them, so don't miss the opportunity to get in. We have our 3-bedroom units, we have about 80 left. Don't miss the opportunity to get them. We will be doing more, but there might be a little break between turning on more. And Jackie, give me a call. Let me get one for you. They don't stay around long. Last month we sold 30. 30 units went last month.
Wow.
www.richmondjamaica.com. Go online, get your application form filled in, and let's get going.
All right. Emile, you
Steve,
heard that?
Jane Bank will be happy to assist all of you in acquiring Richmond.
But listen,
There you
Emile,
go.
I
There
must
you
use this
go.
opportunity. Jackie, I must use this opportunity to really laud JN. From day one, I'm looking at a picture behind me now with Emile attending my soft opening. From day one, they've been big supporters of our program. They have very dynamic sales reps. You call me, Jackie, and I send you to one of their sales reps, and everything is 1, 2, 3, done.
Wow.
You know, and they have been phenomenal partners in this program with us.
Emile, I don't know. I'm bursting out the seams right. I'm just ready to go now. Okay? I'm ready to leave.
Or you might don't have any more space.
Ready to leave. But the point of the matter is, you're absolutely correct, both of you gentlemen, and you've delivered accurate, uplifting, precise information that so many of us did desperately need. And thank you, JN Bank, for being there to facilitate these type of purchases if an individual should choose. You make it happen. Obviously, a lot of us would not know how to make this dream happen, and JN is here for that, and it's Mr. Emile Spence. And for those of you who want further information, of course, it's JN Bank. Maybe, Emile, you can just give some contact information, and then they can take it from there.
Yeah, it's janebank.com as the website, and you can get us at 416-784-9657. That's a Toronto number where we can give you the information necessary.
Awesome, good stuff. And I will definitely be your unofficial spokesperson because I'm trying to earn myself my house. And I'm going to be the unofficial spokesperson for Richmond Estates and JN Bank right here in Toronto, Canada, because you will be seeing me again, Steve. You will be seeing me again.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for tuning into the Ordinary People Show today. Thank you for traveling with me across the Caribbean Ocean to this beautiful land called Jamaica. And thank you for getting a piece of the vision that I have. And I hope you can one day own a piece of the pie, a piece of your dreamland, just as I will be very, very shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you same time, same place next week right here on the Ordinary People Show for another blockbuster show. What we'll be talking about is the future of black radio in Canada. Pay attention. Don't go and make sure that you follow me on social media and GBKM TV for all of our latest updates. Thank you so much. See you same time, same place next week right here. Cheers.
Thank you.
Do you believe you could host an entertaining, engaging, and thoughtful weekly show? Or are you a business person or entrepreneur interested in building a brand for yourself? Can you connect with an audience and have strong social media skills? If so, the GBCAM network would love to invite you to join our team. We're looking for driven, genuine folks who are willing to work hard as an independent broadcaster. If this sounds like you, come join our team. For more information, email your resume to career@gbkm.fm. That is career, CAREER, @gbkm.fm. It's time to turn your passion